entry into the 12 days of Trekmas here for y'all. Today's ornament that I'm going to be showcasing is a fan favorite. I mean, there's no other way around it. There's a lot of people that love this particular ship, and I'll have to admit that it was the ship that really sparked my interest in Star Trek. I've been a fan since I was 3. I was a kid. I remember watching Kirk's Enterprise orbiting some green planet. I'm not sure which one, but I remember watching Star Trek since I was about 3. I've watched it since then, so that would put it about 1980-ish. But Next Generation really cemented my love for the fandom. And therefore, we're going to be talking about none other than the Enterprise D today. This was the Hallmark ornament for '93, so this came out fairly early on. It's a very nice representation of the Enterprise D. They did later release, and I do have in my collection, but unfortunately it's in storage, so I can't bring it out and show it to y'all. They did re-release an Enterprise D later on. That was the 3 nacelled Enterprise D from All Good Things. That one, in my opinion, wow. Just what a ship, wow. That Enterprise D is my favorite, more so than just the regular Galaxy class. And they only showed up in 1 episode. I don't know. There's just something about that ship that's awesome. But the regular Galaxy class Enterprise D is a very cool ship too. Now, I have had this in my collection for many, many years since it initially came out. So at one time I did have it hanging on display. I did have the holiday lights that it was plugged into. Years have passed. I don't have those things anymore. So one of these days, hopefully, I'll get that again. But we have, of course, the big electrical plug on the bottom of the ship there. They've done a pretty good job on these, on trying to hide the electrical port on the earlier ones somewhere where it's not as noticeable, so it won't really detract from the ship that much. You know, I mean, it would be a different thing if they had the electrical plug right here on the top of the saucer. That would look horrendous. You know, yes, you can see it sticking out of the bottom of the secondary hull, but in my opinion, that is probably the best place to put something if you have to hide it somewhere, is on the bottom of the ship or the back of the ship, if there's a sufficient back to it. Now, this does have the nice detailing right there. It's got a lot of molded detail. It's not really painted for all that molded detail. It's got the Starfleet racing stripes, as I call them. The warp nacelles will light up on the side there. The bussard collectors will light up. The deflector dish down there will light up. And I believe they didn't exactly get it totally right, because if I remember correctly, it's supposed to be blue for the light up, but it's a red light up, so oh well. And on the back there, the main impulse engine will light up. The saucer impulse engines are not anything that would light up. They're just molded in. Excuse me. I'm sorry, the weather's been changing here in Texas at the time that I'm filming this, so it's gone from cold to 80 degrees and it's on its way back to being cold again. So I apologize for the hoarseness in my throat and the clearing of my throat sometimes. On the bottom side, it still has very nice molded detail, but really the only paint app is the registry right there. I have to give it a little fault on that, because it would have been nice to have a little bit more detailing and a little bit more paint apps on this ship than what it has. The paint apps that it does have are very good, but I would like to have a little bit more. In my opinion, this is very reminiscent. The paint apps on here are very reminiscent of the Galoob toy enterprise, the metal toy enterprise that had the detaching saucer section, if y'all know what I'm talking about. Just very basic, very simple, still cool, but you know, I think we've gotten spoiled over the years to have some more very, very detailed items come out. And for the time frame that this was in 93, I mean, this was impressive, having all of that sculpted detail, all of the emergency escape pods, all of the deck plating detail, all of that, all of the windows on the back there, if you can see in the back of the ship. But yeah, it's a very cool ship. I'm wanting to say this is one of the ones that generally doesn't go for that much on the secondary market, if you can find it in flea markets or antique stores. I think a couple of years ago, about 2, maybe 3 years ago, I saw one for about $15 in a local antique mall. So it should be fairly easy to find, shouldn't break the budget if you're looking to add to your collection, if you missed out on it, or if you just want a fleet of Galaxy class starships in your house, on your tree, whatever holiday you choose to celebrate, or if you don't celebrate any holidays and just think it's a cool dang ship and want it hanging in your house. So, alright, I hope y'all have enjoyed this, and I will see y'all back for another 12 Days of Trekmas episode here tomorrow. Bye.